Hi, I'm Gaz. Many people recently have been asking me what inspired me to start my record label and where do I see the current music industry. Stay tuned for the latest episode of the G-Log.
Meet radio and television personality Gaz Reynolds, the founder of World Domination Records and Great Drive Driving School. Like, comment and subscribe to be part of the journey. This is Gaz Reynolds, the G-Log.
Hi guys, welcome to another episode of the G-Log. Spartacus is in his tank, he's just popped out to say hi. Hi Spartacus, how are you? He's had his breakfast already. What did you say? Oh my god, he's getting worse, isn't he? Anyway, today I wanted to talk about the music industry, why I started up a record label, where that record label is at now, and the state of the current scene on the music industry. So, let's get into the video. Oh, let's just get that camera sorted out. Oh, no. Ah, there you go. Right, so, welcome to another exciting episode of the G-Log. As I said, a lot of people have been asking me why I started up a record label and what's all the pitfalls of running a record label. And also, something I've been asking myself recently is the music industry dead? Well, to be quite honest with you, I think the music industry's been struggling for a very, very long time. I've got my own personal views about all of that, and that's why, really, I started up my own record label, World Domination Records. Links down below. I'll be showing you some of the releases that we've actually released on the label over the years, and I'm very, very proud of what I achieved with the record label. And we've actually got a very, very exciting project coming up soon, which is the G-Log album Volume 1, and it features a lot of the tracks that are actually featured in the G-Log, because a lot of you might not be aware, but the songs and the music, most of them anyway, are actually on my record label, World Domination Records. So they're actually available on iTunes and all the other major outlets around the world. So watch out for the G-Log album, because it's going to be pretty cool, and I'll be featuring the artwork at some point in future episodes. So anyway, the bottom line is the music industry finished? Is it dead? Well, it kind of looks like it, doesn't it? And it's a bit sad, really. I remember when I first came into the music industry a long time ago. Vinyl records were out. That just shows you my age. And then it went into CD, which was quite an exciting format at the time. And then we went digital. iTunes came out with digital music, and for a long time they were the leaders in the industry. And then of course now we've got Spotify, Google Music, there's a whole load of competitors, and all my records and all the World Domination Records releases are available on all of those outlets, including Amazon. So now what happens is people don't really buy music anymore, or that's kind of how it looks, but they do. They buy music through subscription. So rather like Netflix, what's happening now is most music lovers will actually sign up to an account with Spotify or Apple Music, because Apple Music's just been launched recently, and then they'll purchase music on a monthly subscription. There's other ways of marketing music as well, sort of through YouTube, and obviously bands tour and do venues. So I guess my main thing, how I got into the music industry, is knocking on a lot of doors, and I was very, very determined. And this was many, many moons ago. When I say moons ago, it was 2004 when I decided to launch World Domination Records, and I honestly didn't have a clue about what I was doing. And it almost completely bankrupted me. But anyway, fortunately, I dug myself out, and it got me thinking about using platforms such as YouTube. So luckily, I got a whole load of artists from around the world to sign to the label, and we started producing videos. And so we've got some quite good visuals. You can see them in the screens here. and I've popped some links down below in the description. From there, really, we started, social media was really developing. We had MySpace at the time. I think I got something like 6.5 million fans or something on MySpace. And so then Facebook kind of knocked MySpace out of the window, and Facebook kind of took over. So everybody moved over to there, and then there was, of course, Twitter and all the other platforms. So my thing really is, record labels, they just screw the artists and don't really seem to care about them. A good example of this is Beyonce. Now she's marketing her own music from her website. Madonna's another good example of this, where she went off and set up her own record label. Now, I did sign to 2 labels probably about 10 years ago. Neither one of them I made any money from, and I found that they really weren't very supportive towards artists, which was a bit of a pain in the neck, really. So so I thought, well, I reckon I can do it better than that. And so I was knocking on lots of doors. Eventually I ended up with knocking at Howie Rosen's door, who was the head of Island Records many years ago, and he owned a promotion company which plugs basically records that they feel could be hits. They plugged them to the radio stations around the US. And what happened with a record that I wrote when I was 14, funny enough, and I just re-recorded it when I was, I think, in my 30s. And I thought, well, you know, I'm going to have a go at sending this out to Howie Rosen and see what he thinks. And he came back to me and said, you're going to have a major radio hit out here in the States. Well, I didn't really believe him, I'll be honest with you. But within weeks, I was heading on to Power Rotation. I was getting radio interviews all around America. Unfortunately, I had some problems with going to America, and I couldn't get out there. And so I had to do a lot of radio interviews over the phone. Well, that was fine, because then they were giving me the files and I was uploading them to YouTube. And this is where YouTube really plays a very important part in my music, because over the years I've developed quite a good, or successful, reasonably successful career in radio and television. Quite often I've been picked out of a very large crowd of people from YouTube, and I've been hired to be on various shows such as BBC Two Horizon, Alan Carr's show recently on Channel 4. Big Review TV actually approached me, and they sort of do reviews and interviews with up-and-coming people, and I did 2 interviews with them. Again, you can see the link down in the description, and also you can see a little clip in the split screens here. And so all of that stuff, by being very persistent, I've sort of got my name around. Now, I got very lucky as well, because I managed to get a worldwide distribution deal, and that means that all of my music, all my songs that I write, that I release, they go straight out into every store around the world, and that's pretty cool in itself. So what I've done is I've got some good contacts in the press, and whenever I've got a new release out, in fact we're doing a press launch today for the G-Log as well, we've put out press releases, and usually the press pick up on stories to do with me, and again you can see them in the, some of them anyway, in the screens here, and there'll be some links down below in the description. And so a combination of knocking on a lot of doors, press releases, getting on television shows, which I got very lucky with, using social media, putting visuals up on YouTube. Some of my videos are quite dated now, but I was quite proud of them at the time. And you know, we used peer-to-peer marketing as well, which basically was file sharing. So one of my hits, Some Forgive, knocked Madonna off the world chart, and it actually I think it achieved something like, in the first few days, it was something like 500,000 views from file sharers alone. That was really massive then, so that was a big story in itself. So just, and also I sort of pitched myself to the local radio stations in the UK, but by that time, because I'd been featured on loads of radio interviews in America, I had lots of contacts, and I was able to contact television and radio stations in America and Canada and other countries, and I started getting featured all over the place. So it's a very long story, but again you can see all the video clips and stuff in the split screens. The good thing is, because now I've started the G-Log, I'm vlogging well, almost every day or every other day, and I'm able to tell my story, and that means more people get to know about what I actually do and how I achieved some of the things that I've achieved. The G-Log itself is incorporating my music career along with my driving school, and the reason why I started the driving school up was because it's notoriously very difficult to get paid from the music industry. Royalties take a very long time to come in, and in the meantime you need to live. So at one point I was a social worker, but I decided that I wanted to be in the music industry, but I thought I don't really want to be a social worker anymore. Actually, my manager at the time was very good. He used to let me go off and do interviews in magazines. Again, there's some sort of clips here, and there will be some links down below in the description. And so yeah, hopefully this video is going to be helpful to you guys out there that want to get into the music industry or are in the music industry and getting frustrated with it. So do I believe the music industry's finished? Well, not totally finished. It's just going in a different direction now, more digital. And that's kind of linked in with the current market, because most people are using their phones or they're going online to listen to music. And so things like marketing music online has become much bigger. As I said, for the G-Log, we're actually using quite a lot of the audio tracks that we've released on World Domination Records are actually being featured on the G-Log. So that means that a wider audience are actually going to find out about the tracks. And again, today with this episode, hopefully that creates a bigger awareness. Okay, well, that's my little bit about the music industry today. I will be following that up, what I'm talking about today, with other videos, so please keep checking back to see if there's content that you're interested in. And I would really appreciate it if you would like, comment and subscribe, and don't forget to hit the notification button. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you soon.
Out now, Gaz Reynolds' new album, The Wedding Album, as featured on Big Review TV and Radio Harrow. Available at iTunes and all major outlets worldwide.